get back to yourself again, I mean, we've got your one of your songs I know has particular significance to you, and maybe you'd like to tell us the story behind it. It's the
Infinite Love, right? Is that the one?
the one?
Yeah. Okay. I was reading your mind.
I was trying to read.
I mean, a lot of the songs have, you know, a special. But this song is really a very significant, you know, story behind this song, because I think that the thing to point out, one of the most important things to point out today is, as a songwriter, you know, so many times you try to chase what's on the radio, and you're always trying to, you know, write the next big thing. You're trying to write a big hit, because that's how we make a living. I mean, you know, as a songwriter, that's what you do. And so it's, you know, even though I try to write what I feel compelled to write and that kind of thing, I still sometimes find myself too busy worried about, you know, getting a big cut. This song came as a friend of mine a few doors up was diagnosed with cancer, 50 years old, Annette Grossberg, her name, and Annette was full of life, a lot of fun. We, you know, her and her husband, me and my wife, we did a lot of things together, and you know, we were either over at their house or they were at our house and having some wine, just having a good time. And Annette was not doing well with the cancer, and the doctors had done about all they could do, and we all knew that, you know, what was coming. And I was up at her house one day, my wife and I were up there, and she said, Billy, I want you to read something I wrote. And she was always giving me song ideas, and they were always awful, and we used to laugh about it together, you know. She always wanted me to write a song called Baby Boomer Grandma or something like that, you know. We used to laugh. But this letter she had written was just a very simple, little heartfelt letter, you know, and it was just about the things that she did. She had two boys that, you know, that had just left the house. She had her husband still alive, of course, and her mom and dad were still around. And anyway, this simple letter just talked about all the things that they'd done together. It included friends, you know, ourselves included there. Anyway, it was titled With Infinite Love, and I thought that was very pretty, you know, when I saw it. In the same visit, she said, Billy, you've got to do me a favor. And I said, you know, I will do anything for you. And she said, I want you to write a song for my funeral. And I said, I'll do my best, you know. And so I carried that letter around. It was not really anything in the letter that I could use, but that title, I knew there was something about that was special. And I got with a buddy of mine, and I knew that I was running out of time, basically. I had to write this song. And I couldn't find the right words. So I got with a friend of mine, and we sat down together and wrote this song. And it's a very simple song, you know, 2-line verses, not any plan at all of this song getting recorded by somebody. Remember, I played it for her, and I said, Annette, we included your name on this song, you know, so now you finally got your song. And she, with her great sense of humor, she laughed. She said, well, maybe we'll get rich. Of course, I explained to her the odds of, you know, that. But anyway, I was in the studio recording it so I could give it to her family, and she passed away while I was in the studio. And but I did go sing at the funeral, and I gave a CD to her family, and George Strait happened to hear this song about a week after Annette passed away, and he fell in love with it and recorded it on the Honky Tonk Bill CD, and so Annette got her big cut.
So she really did it.
Yeah. Kind of spin-off shows, because I grew up probably, you know, 70, 80 miles from Branson, and that was, you know, a big thing when I was a kid, but I had never gone there. But there were a lot of little Opry type, you know, shows that were spin-offs really of the Branson shows. And they would have a house band, they have 2 or 3 or 4 singers, and then they would have a comedian and that kind of thing. And I remember I was kind of a shy kid. I was you know, well liked in school, and I was really involved in school, and of course there was only 4 of us at that school. It's a little tiny town. No, it wasn't that small, but there wasn't, you know, there weren't many of us. But anyway, I went over to this show, and I'd been playing some music, you know, but just sort of in the house, because so much this whole period after my voice changed, you know, and as I was, you know, I just kind of got out of it a little bit. I was still singing, and I would do it, but it was just something I did out on a tractor or out on a farm somewhere. But I went over and I did this show. I wanted to go over and check it out. I'd heard about it, and I sat there and I watched those people up there, and they were all bigger than life to me, and I thought, man, I would love to have the guts to get up and do that. And so I got the courage up to go ask the owner. I said, when do you do auditions? Because I thought, you know, well, they'll probably do auditions maybe in the spring or something. And so I go and ask, and she said, let's do it right now. And so I'm totally unprepared, and I go back. But I had been playing, you know, in the house. I've been singing these songs and stuff and just working on the guitar and everything. So I thought, well, I'll just do the best I can do. And so I went back, and she brought the entire cast of the show in to watch in this little room. And I was just really scared to death. And I remember I sang an old song called Crying My Heart Out Over You. And I was a big Ricky Skaggs fan, and he had done that song. And so I played that song, and they loved it, and they hired me on the spot. So the next weekend, I start playing on the show, and I go over to rehearse and everything. And that was, you know, pretty tough. But I mean, you know, it was really a good learning experience. So because I spent a lot of time there, I spent about 3 years there working on that show. And then I later went on to manage a theater in West Plains, Missouri.
And we have some very, very good entertainers and good singers here. Have you come across any of them in the States or maybe in Europe or wherever?
You know what, I mean, I have, in all of my travels over here, I've met so many great, just, you know, people from the different countries. Daniel O'Donnell is someone here in particular that I love his voice. I love what he does, and I understand he's very popular. And of course, a lot of people in the States, you know who he is too. I think he does some shows in Branson, and he's been coming and doing a lot of things there. But in all seriousness, you know, when I hear his voice, it sounds sincere and it sounds real. And so he's someone here, you know, in Ireland that really I'm impressed with. I really think he's great, and you know, hopefully one day I'll meet him and get to, you know, write with him or do something, you know.
Who knows? That day may be closer than you think. He is a fantastic guy. I have to stand up for our guys here. We have many, many brilliant artists here. We have, and I shouldn't start naming them because I'm bound to bring into a bit of trouble. But Big Flavin, John Hogan, and oh, I don't know, just keep going and going and going. Great stuff, great guys. Billy, I hope you get to meet these guys in the near future. Thank you for sitting down and talking with us.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure. Really,
you have an open invitation. Anytime you're here, this studio is always open to you to come in and talk.
I'll be back.
Thanks for taking the time to come in.
All right.
Greatly appreciate it, and the best of luck in your career.
Thank you. Thank you very much.